What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Lando Blanco channel. This channel is regarding business and anything that has to do with small business. So a lot of businesses are going online, doing video streaming, shorts, whatever, any social media content, and my business is no separate. I have a small business that does e-commerce, and I am starting to do a lot of live streams and a lot of more online content on the fly. So the reason for this video is to talk about the Mac Mini M4. So I recently bought one. I was streaming on a MacBook Pro. So let me just show you real quick. So I have a couple cameras in front of me. I'm gonna show you my USB cam. Here is my setup, right? So here's my actual display, but I wanna talk to you about the MacBook Pro real quick. Let me just make sure I'm not showing you any information that is important. Okay, here we go. So Glorilla, baby, let's go, $4 meal. But this was what was streaming before, and I was having a lot of issues with that setup. I was having issues with lag when I would share my screen, overheating, like it would get really hot and it would start not throttling, but like slowing down, like things would just lag behind. I did not like that. I also have this cam that is my work cam. So I work on stuff on stream. So let's say this is something I'm working on. I like to show people, I can switch my camera, I can show you my hands, I can show you stuff more in detail. Yeah, I was making s'mores, so what? But it's really a 2-camera setup, and then I share my screen. So I'm gonna go to my screen. I share my screen. This is, you're seeing the OBS screen. I was just editing a video, but I would share my screen and show stuff on video. So it was really struggling to keep up that computer to do all this. Now I'm literally filming the video, editing. I was just editing that video. That's why iMovie is running in the background. I am literally sharing my screen with you, and this computer is not struggling at all. So I'm not a game streamer. I stream like real life business practice use. So maybe you're gonna do a live stream on like a seminar type thing, but you need multiple cameras because you want to have a camera on you, you want to have a camera on what you're presenting. Then you might want to have a crowd camera or a camera that shows other stuff, and that's where my third camera comes in. I'm working on cars and other things, so this camera will allow me to move, and it's just a little USB camera. But I'm gonna go through my setup. So I have the Go Stream 2. It's being fed HDMI, and then this lets me cycle through the cameras. Looking for a review on that, there's really good reviews on YouTube already. Have a GoPro right here. That's where my audio is being fed through. And then I have this Sony up here. All these cameras are cameras that I've had for a while. This is a GoPro Hero 7. That's an RX 100, but the second version. So it's older stuff, but they have HDMI out. They go to the Go Stream. I'm still fixing my mic situation, but this is more than capable of what I need it to do. I could not find a video that would tell me if this was possible or what the Mac Mini could actually do. Like, there's a lot of benchmark videos, there's use cases for people gaming and streaming, but I couldn't find something that's really like this regarding business and not necessarily just gaming. So I'm sure I could game if I want to, but that's not my use case. It's more teaching and showing what I'm doing. So this 3-camera setup I have is working really well. It's all behind the M4 Mac Mini, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, Mac Mini M4, and let me just share my screen so it's me and my screen. So here's the M4 Mac Mini. You can buy one right now for pretty cheap. So the actual configuration I have is this one right here. It is 16 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. The storage is upgradable. It is a little bit cumbersome. So if the RAM, you need to make sure you get 16 gigabytes. That's gonna come with it. If you want 24, 32, you're gonna pay for it. But it's not necessary. Like when I'm doing everything I showed you, I'm doing on 16 gigs. 256 gigabytes of storage though is very small. If you're gonna be doing a lot of content and you don't have extra stuff behind you, like I have other stuff that I use. For example, like I have a NAS device that holds video. So as soon as after I'm done recording, I edit, blah, blah, it goes into there. I don't keep a lot of stuff on that drive. But if you're gonna use this as a main computer, you're gonna want more storage. Either pay Apple for it, and you're gonna pay a pretty penny, or you pay a third-party company to install storage. The storage is upgradable. It's a SSD, special form factor for the Mac Mini, but you can find people who will upgrade it for you. I've watched videos. Obviously did my research on buying it. When it comes to ports though, you do need to be aware that everything's gonna be USB-C. This has no USB-A ports, everything's USB-C. So I am using a converter for this camera right here. Let me make sure you can see this. Yep, so this is a USB-A camera. I have a converter on it to make it USB-C. The GoStream M2 is actually USB-C. My keyboard and mouse, so that you see here in front of me, is USB-A, so I have a converter for that. Converter is pretty cheap, $6 or $7, but just know everything's gonna be USB-C. So use that to your advantage. You can run a second display. I have this main display here. So here's the USB camera, right? This is 27-inch display, but I also have this display right here. So let me put that into play real quick. So this is a USB-C cable, USB-C cable. This is a 15-inch display from Amazon. Now this is my display to show whatever I need to show. So hopefully it found where it is, but I can just throw OBS on it now. So there you go. So now OBS is here instead of up here, and I have this display ready to go, and I haven't lost a beat. I'm still recording. This is good to have as like an extra monitor for you to do things. So like, let's say, for example, hold on, let me go back to OBS. It's in front of me. Sorry. So let's say, for example, you want to have your chat down here or whatever down here in this, and then your main screen, or you only want to show what's on this screen. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of flexibility to this platform, and the M4 chip is really good. I am having one weird issue. I'll see if I can show you it. Let's say I'm on YouTube and I put a video on. Let me open up another tab. So let's say I'm on YouTube, right? I'm gonna watch a video. Sometimes it's not happening now. I don't know if it's my display or my display cable, but I get this weird, come on, I get this very weird shaking and flickering. So I'm pretty sure it's my display. I don't think it's the Mac Mini, but that's just one thing I want to bring up to you. Also, during setup, I had this weird issue with the setup assistant crashing on me twice, so that kind of scared me. You can buy Apple Care. It's $30 for the year. I recommend getting it for your first year. Make sure you're good with the platform. Also, you can get an educational discount. So what I showed you earlier, let me go back to me on the screen. That price right here, $5.99 is without the educational discount. So you can get it for $4.99 if you go with education. But if you add more storage or more RAM, you are going to pay a pretty penny. But the base configuration Mac Mini, this right here, that is $5.99, is more than enough to do everything that I'm doing that you see right here. Running two displays. One's a 4K display. I forgot to tell you that. One's a 27-inch 4K display. This is a 1080 display. I'm recording. I'm using the USBs to record. I have my USB webcam, and you can see nothing's slowing me down. Everything's working the way I expect it to. Again, I'm not a gamer. I don't game on this computer. It's on my gaming platform, but it is for me to work and show things and capture video, show my screen, and everything works flawlessly. So if you need to make an investment for your business to start doing content, this is a great starting point. The Mac Mini M4, you just need a display. You could hook it up to any display. It has an HDMI port, and start working on that and using this machine to do so. I edited this video. Here, I'll show you my screen again. This video is for a review of the camera system, and it was smooth. Editing was real smooth, and then exporting, it is 720 video though, but exporting took no time at all. So if this is something you're interested in, the Mac Mini, you thought about it, you're trying to compare the Mac Mini to, hold on, I lost my mouse. There we go. Okay, so you're comparing the Mac Mini to your other options. You have an Intel-based Mac Mini, or maybe you're thinking, should I go with like a tower? You're gonna make an investment. You're not sure if you should spend the $2,000, $3,000. The Mac Mini at $400 or $500 is a really good deal. You can find used ones for about 400 bucks. I got stuck debating versus the M1, M2, or M4 Mac Mini, and I wasn't sure where to go. The M1 and M2 are kind of close in price. You can find them for like $300 and $350. I don't think that's a bad investment, but then if you bring yourself up to $499, which is $150 more, you could get a brand new machine, all the latest stuff. So I think if you're thinking about it, if you want to just dip your feet, M1 would still, from what I've seen people describe, will still be enough to do what I'm doing. But if you definitely want to duplicate what I'm doing, M4 is the way to go. Two displays, all these cameras, audio being captured. I have another walk around camera. I actually use the computer like to show stuff as I'm streaming, just like I did. I showed you the pricing and all that stuff. So if you were looking for this use case, know that it is possible. The M4 Mini is really very impressive machine. And I think it's very worth the price that they're asking for it. I think once you start adding more RAM, more storage, you kind of get into like there might be a better deal elsewhere, but for the base model with the amount of RAM and everything that it has, I think this is more than enough. And then let me just show you my screen again, and then let me show you the applications. I want to go into utilities, and I want to go into activity monitor, and I want to see my CPU usage and my CPU load. So OBS is using a good amount of the CPU at 44%, but I'm not really stressing the system. Overall, I'm pretty good. In terms of memory, this is what I was worried about. So I have 14 gigs almost used, and I have 16. So I have 3 gigs still available. Hold on, you can't see that. There you go. So now you should be able to see it. So like, I'm pushing the system. I'm running 2 displays. I'm doing all this stuff, and like it's hanging on. I may be at its limits, but I'm really doing a lot right now to show you what it can do. On stream, I might do this once or twice, but there's a lot going on here, and the Mac Mini is handling it. So if you were thinking about it, you weren't sure which way to go, I do recommend the Mac Mini M4. If you're gonna use it for this use case, I think it's gonna work very well. The mirror, the display's doing the thing. Look, I'm gonna show you, You see that flickering? Let's see if I can capture it for this angle. So you see it's flickering? I'm not sure if that's the output of the Mac Mini, the display, or the cable. The cable and the display are both used. I was using them on a previous computer, but I didn't have this issue, but I don't know exactly what's going on. I will find out more, report back later. Maybe I'll do an updated video, we'll see. But I hope this information helped you. If you are looking for content relating to business, small business, growing your business, little tips, tricks here and there, maybe subscribe. You never know what kind of video I'm going to come out with. There may be technology, it may be e-commerce, it may be marketing. There's all different things inside my head, content I want to start sharing, and now I have the platform, not necessarily the platform, now I have the ability to, and YouTube will give me the platform. Hopefully I can help some people out. But all right, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.